Now, if the NFL draft plays out a certain way, I think the Bears should be making calls to trade up. This is the only situation I would trade up. Shedeur Sanders. We know Cam Ward's going to go pick 1. Shedeur Sanders, if he goes pick 2 to Cleveland, if Cleveland's like, we need a quarterback, we can't bring in Kirk Cousins. That's not going to fix much long term. Deshaun Watson, the only way to get out of that situation is to bring in a rookie quarterback and do what Denver did similarly. Let's bring in a quarterback that fits, what we're trying to do. And Stefanski, his offense is very similar to Pat Shurmur's offense in Colorado, and that was Stefanski's mentor. When he was a quarterback's coach, Shurmur was, the offensive coordinator, the play caller in Minnesota. Those two have ties together. I'm sure they've talked. Shedeur Sanders to Cleveland makes a lot of sense, and he would fit that offense. So I think he should be in Cleveland. Travis Hunter makes more sense to the Giants, as he could play cornerback, he could play receiver. They already have a lot of edge rushers. That defensive line is pretty much solidified. Abdul Carter doesn't make sense there. So the Patriots at pick 4, could the Bears trade up and call them, give them potentially pick 10, you swap 10 for 4, and you give them pick 39 or 41 and a first round the following year? I'd be okay with that if I could get Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter to the Chicago Bears. That's the only player I would trade up for. He could be that superstar edge for the Chicago Bears. Right now, Montez Sweat is great, but we need a number 1 guy. Montez Sweat is more of that number 2 guy. He can't dominate on his own. He needs another guy in the mix to help him, because we saw this year, hella double teams, wasn't as productive. He needs somebody on the other side of him that's better, and Abdul Carter can be that. Him on a rookie contract with Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, all the talented players we have that are young and ascending, add him to the mix on this defense, he would change things around. We've seen what a young game record defensive player can do for a team. The Eagles, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, they have Jalen Carter. They have a lot of young players on that defense. Milton Williams just got a payday. Like, a lot of those young players on that defensive line, they hit on the defensive line in the draft consistently. Abdul Carter would be a hit for the Bears. We let Jalen Carter go to Philly. We let them trade up, and we went back 1 pick. They got Carter. We ended up with Darnell Wright, which I think made sense at the time. But this is an opportunity to finally right our wrongs. I mean, Aaron Donald went to the Rams when we could have ended up with him. We need that blue chip prospect. The offensive line is pretty much solidified. I like going defensive line with our first pick. I feel like Genty's going to end up with the Raiders. At pick 10, Will Campbell, there's question marks about him being a tackle. Kelvin Banks, like all these tackles, it's not as a sure thing as we thought earlier in the draft process. Carter's an outstanding athlete with elite athleticism, a rare blend of speed and agility, can just make tackles look stupid. Go sack the quarterback without even getting touched. And quarterbacks can't escape him because he has that speed. He has that speed to cover a lot of ground. No matter how bad of an angle he takes, like, he's always going to get the quarterback. He has a relentless motor that's going to make him a nightmare for teams. You see him chase down plays. You see him run downhill, make tackles, chase down quarterbacks. He's all over the field running 100 miles per hour. Imagine these 4 guys on the field at the same time. Dio at defensive tackle, Dexter at defensive tackle, Carter and Sweat off the edge. Whew. We could get home with 4. I could say we could get home with 4 right now, but having Carter into the mix, it just changes how you look at this defense. This defensive line is no longer one of our weaknesses. It might be better than our offensive line if you add Carter in the mix. Carter, he can line up all across the defensive line. This is his first year playing edge. In his first season playing edge, 13 sacks. 10 quarterback hits, 43 QB hurries. I think he could be better than Micah Parsons. Sweat, he can move to number 2. He can move to our second best pass rusher, not have to worry about all the double teams coming to him. He's going to get freed up. He's going to get one-on-one matchups. He'll put up 10 sacks. So we'll have 2 edge rushers that could put up 10 sacks. Maybe Dio could take that next step too and be even more productive, having another guy in the mix. Carter can make things easier for everybody in this defensive line. Our secondary could be really productive, having a pass rush that's getting home less than 3 seconds. That slipperiness he has off the edge, it's very Von Miller-like. That's a great comparison for him. I think people saying Micah Parsons, it's easy. Number 11, Penn State, similar game, moving to edge, being a pass rusher, former inside linebacker. People are saying he's the best player in this draft, and it's hard to make an argument against that. When you put on the tape, all you're thinking about is number 11. His skill, his talent just shines off the tape. Maybe pick 10, pick 41, and maybe a first round the following year, and I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I've seen, on Bears Chat Now, Bears Chat Sports Now, with Harrison Graham, somebody put in the comments on, their questions that they, asked the host and stuff, pick 10 and 41. I don't think that's a good enough value for Abdul Carter, and trading up to pick 4. I think the Patriots will want a little more, but Patriots could say yes to this deal, getting a first round next year, and having the ability still to get an offensive lineman for Drake May. That's their biggest need. They could get Ted McMillan too at pick 10. There's a lot more flexibility with that. You wouldn't take Ted McMillan at 4, but you have an option still with some really good linemen. Membo might still be there. He might go to 7 with the Jets, but Will Campbell, Kevin Banks, Ted McMillan, there's still some good options there at pick 10 for, the Patriots. And the Bears, trading up, giving up, pick 41 or pick 39, you still have the opportunity to have one of those other picks in the second round, early second round, still have the opportunity to get a running back like Judkins. And then at 72, you still have that in your back pocket. You could get the safety from Texas, a guy that the Bears are interested in through some early visits so far. So I would 100% make this move. This is the only guy I would trade up for. I wouldn't trade up for Genty. I would only trade up for Abdul Carter. But I would want him to get an extension done with, Keenan Allen. I would want him to stay with the Chicago Bears for maybe 2 or 3 more years, because he's coming off his best season last year with the Chargers.